Today we have two more students with us. Let's talk to them and let's find out what are they doing and what are their names. Hello.
Hello, madam.
Right. What's your name?
My name is Mahesh.
Alright. Mahesh, what are you doing?
I am pursuing my PhD.
Oh, very nice. Where are you from?
I am from Karimangal.
Very nice. And what about you?
Ma'am, my name is Mallikarjuna.
Right.
I am studying MBA, ma'am.
Okay.
I am from Usman University.
You are from Usman University. Very nice. Can you tell me something about your college?
Yes, ma'am. Our college is one of the biggest campuses in the state. It has beautiful garden, a huge library,
Okay.
and it has state stadium, playgrounds,
Okay.
swimming pool.
Oh, very nice. Do you swim?
I don't know, but I'm practicing it in the university now.
Very nice. Right. Mallikarjun, tell us something about your native place.
Ma'am, my native place is very beautiful. It's located in Nellore district,
Okay.
and my village has two temples.
Okay.
It's a wonderful temples. Temples have a more beautiful and trees they have, and my village don't have a don't have a hospitals.
Oh.
That's why my village people's struggling a lot of problems.
All right. Very nice. But no, when you're speaking, you are making some mistakes. All right. For instance, when you're talking about your college, you said it have a library, but that is wrong. You cannot say it have a library. Similarly, you are saying the temples has, but that is wrong. No? When you say temples, you must use a proper verb like have. So it can, and my village don't have. Even that kind of a sentence is wrong. You cannot say my village don't have. So
How can we use these three have forms? In what way we can use this?
this have, has and had. All right. So today let's get some clarity on the usage of have, has and had. These have, has and had are part of verbs. All right. They are part of verbs, and then they specifically don't indicate any action. They talk about some kind of possession. They talk about some kind of possession. They don't talk about any action. And there are three verbs, have, has and had. Out of these two, we use them in the present. Anything which is applicable in the present, all right, or anything which is now, we use have and has, and this had is the past. We have to make use of had in the past tense. Okay. Now, when we talk about this have and has, one is singular, the other one is plural. So, have represents plural subject and has represents the singular subject. Do you know about plural subjects? Yes, for example, what are the plural subjects?
We, you,
We, you, yes, and
they.
they. We, you and they, very nice. But here what happens is I also comes under the plural, and we always associate this I with have. So, whenever you want to say something related to these, then you have to say have. So, I have, they have, you have and we have. Now, the singular one is this has, and then what are the singular subjects?
He, she,
yes,
it.
we talk about he, she and it, or any noun which is singular here or any noun which is plural here. That is how we differentiate between this have and has. When we come to had, it represents the past, what is not applicable now or what is not true in the present time. Okay. Now, let us go back and reflect on your sentences. You were talking about your college and you say it have beautiful gardens. Now, you are talking about it. Now, it is singular, so you cannot use has, have. So, you must say it has a beautiful garden, alright. Yes. Now, when we come to negatives, then we will talk about your point for the my village don't have, right. So, why it is wrong? We will come to that point later. So, first let us talk about this have. So, then it is first difference is this singular and plural. Now you will ask, okay, singular plural we've understood, but where to use? Okay, so now where to make use of this have form is, first when you talk about some ownership. When you talk about or when you describe some ownership, there we have to make use of this have and has. For example, if I ask you, what do you have? Now, Mahesh, what do you have with you now?
I have a book.
Very nice, I have a book. Mallikarjun, what do you
I
have?
have a pen.
You have a pen. So it means this is an ownership, something which belongs to you. When you talk about has, then Mallikarjun, what does Mahesh have?
Mahesh have a textbook.
Now see again, Mahesh means he kada. Oh sorry, Mahesh means he. So you cannot say he have. So you have to go with has. So then repeat. What does Mahesh have?
Mahesh has a book.
Right.
Mahesh has a pen.
Mahesh has a pen. Alright. Similarly, Mahesh, if I ask you, what does Mallikarjun have? Right. Mallikarjun has a book. So this is again singular and plural for ownership. Second one is this relationship. When you talk about relationship, then also we make use of this have form. Relationship means brothers, sisters, friends, cousins. Okay. Then now for example, if I ask you, how many siblings do you have? Right. I have 3 siblings. How many cousins do you have?
I have 4 cousins.
Yes, very nice. So now you said I have 3 siblings and I have 4 cousins. Alright. If you want to ask him, ask Mallikarjun about friends.
How many friends do you have?
I has 2 friends.
Mallikarjun, I has 2 friends. I and have. Yes.
I have 2 friends.
Right. Yes. Now if I ask you, Mahesh, what is he saying? How many friends does he have? Right. He has 2 friends. So like this, always you have to remember the difference between this have and has. Third one is this eat and drink. So when we eat something, when we drink something as a regular habit, we can make use of this have and has in the place of eat and drink. Okay. Now, what do you like to have? Tea or coffee?
I have drink tea.
Okay. Now, I have drink tea. This sentence is incorrect. You cannot say I have drink tea because this eat and drink are equal to have or has. So either you have to make use of eat and drink or you need to say have and has. You cannot use them together. So I have tea. I have tea in the morning. Alright. Now what does your father have for breakfast? Right. Now what does your father have? Now father means he. That's why you have to say my father has idlis for breakfast. Okay. Next, does your mother have tea?
Yes, my mother has tea.
Yes. Now you're slowly getting it. So not my mother have tea. Yes, my mother has tea because mother is singular and it is she. So you have to say yes, my mother has tea. Okay. Then the fourth one. Any kind of pain or any kind of ache when you need to describe or talk, there also you must make use of this have and has. Now for example, alright, what happened to him? If I ask you what happened to him?
He got injured.
He has got an injury. So you cannot say he has got an injured because injury is a noun. Alright, so we cannot make use of it in a sentence like this. Okay. Okay, for example, if I say you are looking very dull today, what happened? If you have any pain, any ache, yes. So I have headache. So not necessary. You can simply say I have headache. Alright. Now, Malika, why is he looking dull? Why does he look dull?
He has a headache.
Yes, he has headache. So now this pain or some ache, then we have to use with the help of this have and has. Now if somebody has any problem or there is any kind of difficulty, there also we make use of this have and has. Okay, if I ask you and if I want to know what problems does our country have?
Our country has an unemployment problem.
Very nice. Now our country, is it singular or plural?
Singular, ma'am.
Right. Our country means it. Then how is that you are saying have? Our country? It's alright. No, but when you're learning, in the learning stage, if you understand it, it's alright. But when you speak, you tend to make mistake, it is alright. So then repeat your answer.
Our country has a lot of unemployment.
Right. Our country has a lot of unemployment or unemployment problem. Yes. Now, Mallikarjun, do you have any difficulty?
Yes, ma'am. I have many problems.
Yes, I have some difficulty regarding money. Okay. Now, sixth one is part of a thing or a place or a person. So, part of a thing, place or a person. So, when you talk about part of a thing, place and a person, then we have to make use of this have and has. For example, this dash RK Mutt.
This is our camera.
Yes, very nice. So, good you did not say has. This is RK Mutt. We are talking about a place. We are not talking about part of a place. We are talking about a place and then we say this is Ramakrishna Mutt. Now, if I want to ask what does Ramakrishna Mutt have?
Ramakrishna Matham has library.
Yes, it has a library. Okay.
It has a hospital.
Okay, a hospital. Okay, very nice. A universal temple. Alright, so all these are parts of Ramakrishna Mutt, a library, hospital and a temple. That's why we have to make use of this has. Similarly about a thing also. Okay. Now imagine a fan. Imagine a fan. What does a fan have?
Has 3 blades.
Yes. Then has. A fan has 3 blades. Very nice. Wings. When somebody says wings, it is wrong English. For fan, we don't make use of wings. It is incorrect. Mahesh, you have used the right word. It is blades. Okay. So, a fan has 3 blades. Now, these 3 blades are part of the fan, which is a thing. Okay. Other than 3 blades, alright, it has a condenser. Alright, then
And fan has a power supply.
it has power supply. Yes. So, all these are part of the thing. Now, the part of a person. Similarly, we can talk about part of a person also to describe or to tell what does a person possess, what does a person own. Alright, yes. Now, for example,
Mahesh has a lot of property.
okay, Mahesh has a lot of property, but that is ownership. Yes. Here we are talking about maybe some physical aspects of a person.
Mahesh has a 2 hands.
But all human beings have 2 hands. Yes, this grammatically sentence is right, but you can say Mahesh has 2 hands. So, which person has 3 hands and 4 hands? Okay, so we usually don't talk about common features. They have to be a bit different features. For example, she has long hair. Alright. For example, if I want to say you have curly hair. So, then not everybody has curly hair. So, when we say hair, then we describe hair in many different ways. So, then long hair and curly hair. Some people have this, some people have that, right. Usually the eyeballs are black, some people have brown, some people have green or blue. So, then we can say the cat has green eyes or the cat has blue eyes. That is part of, okay, cat is not a person, but then it is something, a feature which is not common to everybody. Alright, so like this. So, in the olden days, saints, then right, they had long beard. So that is part of the person. Now all this is this have form, singular and plural. The same thing we can use in had when we are talking about the past tense. Alright, yes. Now for example, in the past, somebody in the village and you want to say some land, but that person doesn't have land anymore. Then what will you say? He had 13 acres of land. Now when you now you have many for example, now you are working, maybe you don't have many friends, but when you were in school and college and you want to talk about your friends in the past.
I had more friends when I was
Yes,
10.
right. Mallikarjun, for plural nouns, don't use article, okay, because this a and an, they talk about singular, we should not use them for plural. Now friends, so don't say I had many friends, simply we say that I had many friends. Very nice. Now if you want to say that you ate breakfast in the morning,
I had breakfast.
right, I already had breakfast. Very nice. If you today you don't have fever, but then if it was there yesterday, right, so fever also not necessary, because fever is not okay fever, 1 fever, 2 fever we cannot say. So fever is just fever. So you can say I had fever last week. Okay. So now maybe last summer if you want to say there was no water problem. So then if you want to express the same idea with the have form, then we can say last summer, alright, we had water problem, okay, or maybe we can mention negative also. And then part of a place, person and thing. Maybe now earlier there was no hospital in your village. If they have built a hospital now, how would you express that?
My native place had not a hospital past years.
Okay, so my village had not a hospital. Alright, there is some slight error here, but then present and past and these categories, have you understood? Yes. Now when we want to say negatives, so now if we want to convert the same thing into negative, or when we want to speak in negative, we make use of do, does and did. After this we make use of a not, and after that we make use of only have. And here we can make use of the subject, singular or plural. So now Mallikarjun, looking at this structure, now you say that recently they have built a hospital in your village, earlier there was no hospital. So then you will say my village
Did not have a hospital.
right, my village did not have a hospital.
Madam, why don't you tell my village have not a hospital?
Because this have is a main verb. For any main verb, they need one helping verb which can make the negative. So for this have form, this do form is the helping verb which makes the negative. Directly main verbs cannot make negatives.
When we make the negative, that time we will use do forms, ma'am.
Not always in this case. In these cases for the negative you have to make use of do, does and did. Okay. Now Mahesh, for example, your college there was no auditorium, and recently they built an auditorium. Earlier there was no auditorium. How will you express that idea?
My college did not have auditorium earlier.
Right, my college did not have an auditorium earlier. Okay. Now for example, then if we talk about your village, and then you were saying no hospital. In your village you were talking about no hospital. Now in the present, and now you know this negative structure. Now can you reframe your sentence?
My village doesn't have hospital.
Right, my village doesn't have hospital means now there is no hospital in your village. So when we talk about the negatives, then we have to follow the structure like this, and ultimately we ask about ownership, relationship, or any of these categories we can ask. Now let's move on to the questions. When we need to ask questions, we start the questions with do, does and did. So present and past, do, does, and present, do, does, past is this did. Then we have to use a subject, I, we, you, they, he, whatever we were using accordingly, and then here we have this have, and then we can talk about again any of these. Now for example, Mahesh, you don't have a pen and you want to ask him. So how will you ask?
Do you have pen, Mallikarjun?
Yes. Very nice. So do you have an extra pen? And then he says, yes, I have an extra pen. Alright, Mallikarjun, you ask Mahesh any question so that anything like this, and you start with does.
Do you have siblings?
Very nice. Do you have siblings?
I have 3 siblings.
Okay.
Very nice. Okay. Now, can you make a question with does? Ask something about his village.
Does your village have playground?
Now, village is singular. Does your village have a playground?
Yes, my village has a playground.
Very nice. Now ask one question in the past tense.
Did your father have a car?
Did your father have a car?
Yes, my father had a car.
Yes, my father had a car. Very nice. This is correct. Okay. So now, do you have any problems here and there? Alright, one more. Incorrect sentence, Mallikarjun, you say, I done my graduation. Now, this is an incorrect sentence when you say, I done my graduation. You cannot say like that. So, now this done is a verb and in the third form. And whenever you use verbs in the third form, you have to make use of have, has or had again. So, I is plural, and then for this we have to make use of this have. I have done graduation, or I have done my graduation. I done, they written, she spoken. You have to make use of have form along with the verb in the third form. More about this concept you will learn with perfect tenses. It will be taught to you there once again. But for as of now, this have, has and had, present, past and future, this is how it has to be used. Is it clear? Now I will give you some sentences, fill in the blanks and some error. Whatever you have learned and understood, you just try and fill them up. Alright. Now, based on this concept of have and has, here I have some fill in the blanks. Now, if you can answer them correctly or whatever you know, let us check. Okay. The first one, milk dash proteins.
Milk has a proteins, ma'am.
Again,
Milk has protein.
right. Now, milk is singular. So, then your answer is right. Milk has proteins. Yes. The flats dash power backup.
Flats have power bank.
Right. Now, why have? Because flats is plural. So, then we have to go with this have. The flats have. Next one. We dash a class last Sunday.
We had a class last Sunday.
Right. Mallikarjun, why do you say had?
Had last Sunday is past tense, ma'am, because
Yes. That's very nice. Last Sunday is a past time. So, then we are using this past tense. We had a class last Sunday. Okay. Next.
She has self-confidence.
Yes. She and then singular again. She has self-confidence.
this company,
I want you to make a negative sentence. Alright. That's why this not is here.
this company doesn't have any branches.
Correct. Now, this is company. So, negative we will use does. Take this not. And again we have to make use of have. This company does not have any branches. Okay. Now, there are some errors in the sentence. Can you point them out? Yes.
They don't have time to come here, ma'am.
Why not? They doesn't.
They is plural, ma'am.
Yes.
Because we use do ma'am. Do plus.
Not because we use plural. So we use plural. Right. So, then this is the error. We have to write don't. Yes, Mahesh.
She doesn't have a first person.
Okay.
Problem is she is the singular.
Correct. Very nice. Then again, the problem with it is do. We have to write does. Next.
He didn't have lunch, ma'am.
Okay. So, what is the error?
So two past tense is there, ma'am.
Very nice. This didn't and had is wrong. So, what should we use after did not? Again, we have to use this have. He didn't have lunch. Okay. Next one. Are you had, can we say?
Do you have, ma'am?
Yes. So, friends, possession. For possessions, we don't use are. So, this is wrong and this is also wrong. Actually, we should say, do you have friends in Hyderabad? How you asked him, do you have siblings? Do you have sibling? Do you have an extra pen? So, do you have friends in Hyderabad? Alright, is this clear? Do you have any doubts? Okay. Now, based on this knowledge of have and has, right, Mallikarjun, you talk something about Hyderabad in 2-3 sentences, making use of have and has.
Hyderabad has a more good places is there, and
No, when you're saying Hyderabad has, then why do you want to use is? So, Hyderabad has many good places. Okay, right?
Hyderabad has a Charminar.
Alright.
It has a Birla temple
Very nice.
and Hussain Sagar,
Alright.
and Hyderabad has more pollution.
Yeah, it has pollution also. Very nice. That was very nice. So, now whatever you have used with have and has, this is right. Hope you must have learned something about have and has today, and thank you very much for being with us. Hope to see you in the next episode. Thank you.